Hello, everybody. This is Tammy, Texas Desert Rose here. And it's been a little bit. I often say that in the beginning of these things. There's been a few things go on in this world. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, I know you know. I've mentioned Bahrain enough on the show that it's no surprise that with all the lives that are affected, I'm not to that same extent, but I'm definitely affected by the events in the Middle East. I was supposed to travel there in May and go for a month just to visit the ones that I know there. Um, a lot of the American families are out of there and safe. I still stay in touch with my expatriate friends, my expat friends. That's the term for those who are not from Bahrain. They're now, you guys are now celebrating Ramadan, Eid Mubarak to all of my Arab friends, Islamic friends, and happy Ides of March um, and happy Easter to my Christian friends. Um, got a special treat today to jump right in there. I'm 59 now, and looking at my retirement options. Um, and, just really kind of like there's so many options these days. And by Miss Ifateo White, who I think my last show was with her. She's done a couple. Do yourself a favor and pull those up and listen to them. She's just a joy and an inspiration. Well, she recommended someone who is new to me. She's in Tennessee, and I'm very excited to actually talk to Miss Krisilyn this morning. Good morning, Krisilyn.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
I think, everybody, Krisilyn and I were talking, and there's really a crowd out there from my own research of people who they're getting motivated, they're early retiring. They are if earlier retiring, if not early, and they're looking at their options. No longer, I've discovered, Krisilyn, are the days where you just go sit in your rocking chair and you're welcome to do that. And if you're thrilled by that, great. But that's not what I'm discovering. There's a whole world opening up for our final, I'll say 30 years. Um, and Krisilyn, you're a wonderful example. Your name is a wonderful example. I just connected the chrysalis connection to your name, which is about transition and, just butterfly out of the cocoon, right? Out of the
Rebirth.
chrysalis. Yeah,
A
yeah.
rebirth.
I love
Yes.
that. So without further ado, tell us a little bit about you.
I am 63 and I am going to start a new journey in the next month. Um, I've worked for myself for about 20 years doing auto repair on interior repair, leather, vinyl, dyeing carpets. I don't clean automobiles, but after they've been cleaned, I go in and get them ready to sell, fixing everything that can be fixed. It's been fun. I mean, I've
You're
enjoyed it.
kind of a phoenix.
It's a creative way to fix the inside of a car, and I like that. But after doing that for 20 years, I just had a strong pull to do something else. Excuse me, I am outside. It is gorgeous, but cars are
It's
coming by.
beautiful.
Um,
Love the birds.
I am a Reiki master, and I decided that it was time to do something else with my Reiki. So I have enrolled in school. I'm in Tennessee right now from Alabama. I have enrolled in school in Tempe, Arizona, and will be driving out there in May, and we'll start school in July. and I will be doing
Woohoo!
Ayurvedic massage therapy, and that's going to be my main major, which I will learn some other things, some reflexology, just different holistic things to go along with my Reiki, and just super excited. We'll be staying. I have 5 children. My youngest daughter lives out there with her wife and their 2 boys, and I'm gonna stay with them for a little while and get my feet under me, and then go live in Arizona for a while. And I'm
That's
just super
pretty,
excited. Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. I have listeners and subscribers, even out of the Middle East, many from India, Philippines, and of course my Indian friends, they know what Ayurvedic practices are. But for those who don't know, can you not to put you on the spot, can you give an idea of what Reiki, what Ayurvedic practices are as best you can?
Okay. Reiki is a way of energy healing. And it doesn't necessarily mean physical healing. It can be the healing of the mind, body, soul, and there are different people use different modules, I guess, or different
Mhm.
spirits. I'm a Christian, and so I use the Holy Spirit, and I lay hands on people, just a healer, and I just believe that the spirit that works through me is the spirit of God. It can be um, Allah for some people. They use more Buddhist, and they
Sure.
all interconnect. So
Hindu,
it's
all of that.
not, yeah, the Hindu. And so the as far as and you say it a whole lot better than I do. That's a whole new thing for me. The Ayurvedic is for my Reiki, when I lay hands on and I feel energy blockages, I want to I can push them through with energy, but I want to touch people. And
Get a sense through your fingers.
yes, and move that energy through my fingers. And I know this massage therapy uses more oils, long strokes. It's not like necessarily going and having deep tissue massage down in your muscles. This is more of a gentle way. It's a whole way of life basically, and I'm not necessarily going to learn all of it, but it's over 500 years old, a way of healing, eating, being, and it's just time. Retiring, no, starting over with something new. This is the perfect time. So I don't know what retirement would look like. I just believe the more I do, the better I feel, the longer I'll live. It's
It's been proven.
so,
Don't
and
stop
having
moving,
these,
don't stop connecting.
right. And I have 9 grandchildren, and I only have the 2 out there. So it's hard to leave 7 to go hang out with 2. But these are the 2 youngest. Um, and I want them to know me like these others have known me. So I'm going to
You're
spend
spreading
time
your
with them.
love.
And it keeps you busy. It gives me something to do, something to look forward to every day with the grandkids. So that's part of it too. That's a big part of just going and spreading the love.
I love that idea. You and I there's so many different ways we can go with this. Um, we were talking before this about kind of like lemonade out of lemons regarding going to the laundromat. Would you be willing to share that?
I
Like your take
will.
on that
I
compared
will.
to other people's take in general?
If you go to the laundromat, that's not fun.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of times in my life that I've had to use a laundromat. And right now, since I'm moving, I don't have a washer and dryer in my apartment. So I go to the laundromat. And it is a ground for me to try to make a difference, not only in my life, but in the life of others. And it usually makes more of a difference in my life. I like to go and talk to the people. I'm
Who are
pretty
doing their laundry.
open. But yeah, they're doing their laundry, and I was sharing that, the when you go to the laundromat, 9 times out of 10, you don't have a lot of money. You're sitting there with your children in tow. Um, and I,
Usually many.
it is, and I just look at these people, and one of my prayers every morning is, Lord, let me see people the way you do. And I go in
Here,
there and
here.
it fills my heart. And I want to talk to them and tell them how much I admire them. They've come to the laundromat, not just admiring their children, but them, the women that are there, the homeless men that come in, just just to touch them.
Bless your soul.
Sometimes you just touch them and say, I see you. Is there anything I can do to help you? Can I help you carry your laundry out? Can I help you bring it in? And people are, they can't believe that you're talking to them. And it makes me feel great, but it's something that people, we all need. We need to be seen. We need to be touched. One of my other ministries, I guess you could call it, is I love going to the nursing homes. And when they allow me, I like washing people's feet. Um,
Wow.
some of the people in the nursing homes don't get enough touch. So, I wash their feet. I put oils on them and just rub them and talk to them. And it's like I said, this is no, I'm not good. This is what makes me feel good. Just helping somebody, knowing that I would want that. I looked at my mother. She's 84, and her poor little old feet. She has arthritis, and now she's one that doesn't like her feet to be touched. But that's what started it. I just wanted to, Mama, can I rub your feet? She said, I don't want anybody rubbing my feet. But there are people that do, so that's
Well,
where it started.
from a therapeutic point of view, Krisilyn, I would imagine she's been rejecting that part of her body for
I
so
think
long.
so.
And I'm not
Yeah,
saying she caused it, but she's rejected it. So it's like there's a repel.
there
And so
is.
to
Yeah,
invite that vulnerability is so hard.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that totally. But yeah, so that's what I do. I'm just sitting out here this morning watching nature. How that feels you as you retire, if that's what you want to call it. I'm calling it starting over in a new
Yeah.
direction. I can't remember which general that says, we just advance in another direction. That's what I'm doing. But looking at the trees,
Wonderful.
listening to the birds, I saw a goose, and I was sitting there watching this goose, and I was like, I never just see one goose. And I
That's
just
true.
watched and watched, and a few minutes later, another goose came up out of the water. So now we have geese. But I looked it up. I'm always looking up stuff, and geese, they mate for life. So that's what I'm thinking. One was they maybe have a nest down here, but it was so cool to just notice that. Do we
You're
notice that?
very, I think this is a grounding thing for you to get with nature, which is also goes hand in hand, no pun intended, with your hands-on work
On
now,
it
but look at
is.
what you've done the last 20 years.
Yep.
You're a hands-on person to make things beautiful.
Yep.
That's very much a calling. Very Mother Teresa, actually, in a
Thank
lot of
you.
ways.
I
In
haven't
a
ever
lot of
thought
ways,
that,
yeah.
but yeah, that's a huge compliment. But yeah, that's what I think. Retirement. If you want to sit, go sit by the window with the window open. If you don't feel like getting out, because depression can come in, and I'm not going to say that I'm always super happy. I suffer with MS. If any of y'all
Uh,
know, there are days that I just call my MS days that I just can't. They're
yeah.
they're few and far between, but when I have them, it's kind of like I can't barely, I can't get out of bed unless I go to the bathroom, and then it's like running out of breath to go to the bathroom. So those days I stay in bed, but I raise the window, I look out the window, I sleep, and I rest. And so, and you get kind
But
of
it's not
depressed with
permanent
those
for
days.
you. You
It's
give
not
yourself
permanent.
permission.
Yeah, and I think everybody needs to do that, but don't stay there.
No,
There is
not.
a point in time where you've got to get up, and I think depression is hard. We've had our jobs, we've had our children. The children are gone. We have grandchildren; they're getting older. Um, so do something different. it doesn't have to be a depressed period as you grow older. It's time to do something different and to get excited about doing something different, do something new.
You said something in our phone call that I thought made a lot of sense, and I didn't say it out loud, but I think, and you triggered this in my thinking, my goal is not to be happy. My goal is to harness the joy. And you said joy is that's what
Yes,
you try to live every day.
it is.
Um, Krisilyn, what
Happy
about
is a
though?
different kind of emotion.
It is.
Happy, sad. Joy is just it's a being. It's what's inside of us, and it's something that,
That's the difference in my mind.
yeah,
Happy is what you go in and out of.
right.
They're going to
Joy
be not
is,
even these days, not even happy days, happy hours. Sometimes sad, sometimes, all the gamut of emotions that a
right.
healthy psyche feels, but joy is something that's inside.
It is, and it's something that doesn't need to stay inside. You can give joy. I can't give happy, but I can give joy. It's an energy force. It's something when I do Reiki, it's one of the things that I want people to have that inside, that feeling of joy, that feeling that's different than anything else. It's energy, and
It
energy is
is.
joyful.
What about the people who are just like, okay, no, 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 not no touch for me? Is Reiki possible without touch
Oh
or at a
yes, definitely.
distance?
Yeah, you can do it. It's energy. Energy is everywhere, so you can send out energy. You can. Um, I had a client that I didn't touch at all, and just my hands above just areas, and she asked me. She said, "Why are your hands so warm?" And I was like, "I'm not touching you. How
Like,
But
how
she
does
could
that work,
feel
right?
that warmth, and so we talked about it. She could feel heat on her body, and I'm not touching her body. So that's for me, without getting too deep into stuff, I believe, it's my belief only, that I call it the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
That when when Jesus left, he said, "I'm going to send the Holy Ghost." This Holy Ghost is the same Holy Ghost in the Old Testament that was in the Ark of the Covenant. That people, if they touched it, would kill them. The energy, dumos, dynamite. If they weren't
Mhm.
supposed to touch it and they did, it would die. That's when Pentecost came and the Holy Ghost fell on us, and it still comes in us. Do we not understand that that same energy that was in the ark is in us? That energy is
Yes.
joy, it's freedom, it's everything. So anybody can do it, anybody can have it, everybody does. If you were born, I believe that that was the breath now that's breathed into us to be born. So we all walk around with your guides, your angels, your
Absolutely.
spirit. And for me, share it. That's what it's for. So, do I
To
have to lay
keep it,
hands on
you must
somebody?
share it.
No.
So even when I was in other countries during the hard times, and there were many, I would call my best friend and I would say, "Hey, will you do some Reiki?" She's here in Texas,
Yep.
and I could feel it when it hit.
Yep. Yep.
That
That's
same part of
definitely.
you guys listening, that you can feel if there's something off with your kiddo or your grandkid, even if you're not with them. That's that same level, at least the way I see it.
Yeah,
Chris,
it
I don't know
is.
what your thoughts
Yeah,
are.
it
That
is.
when you
And
feel that energetic shift and, the power of prayer, the power of prayer. I mean, that's not my opinion. It's been proven, the power of prayer.
exactly. In
It's,
Reiki, they're using it in hospitals. They're using it.
oh yeah.
Um, I'm sure you've heard, and I haven't done this, which it is something I will do, is become certified as a death doula. Now, I know that sounds horrible, but it's actually wonderful it's a just to have that energy, around somebody that's dying, and the prayer, and help them transition. And I can't think of anything more beautiful other than being a birth doula. That's another thing.
If
Um,
Mateo and I talked about
I
that
was
in our
gonna say that
recording.
Epiteo has been called to do that. She's done it for a while. Um, with me
Well,
having
we
five
talked
children and
about death
everything, it's
doula.
not my thing. I think she's gonna start teaching a class on that too. So yeah, look her up because I'll be taking one in Arizona. So in time, you can look me up. But right
Yes.
now, I'm not trained in that just yet, but I will be. So looking forward to
And
that.
for those who don't know what that is, and many of us don't, a birth doula, I think, has been around for a while. So has death doula, by the way. But it's really come into, I think, resurgence, I don't know. The attending to the dying, that dying doesn't have to be, and I think a lot of other countries they're aware of this, that death is
Yes.
simply a transition and being with the person, being with the family, whatever's needed. A death doula is a very important job, but just like connecting to the homeless, connecting and washing feet, that's a special calling, one that you're definitely called to. So, what about the people who are listening and going, oh my gosh, she moved from Alabama, picked up, moved to Tennessee, and now she's going to Arizona to train. And that just feels really scary to me. I can't imagine pulling up my roots. I'm just scared of what could happen, which I hear a lot. People live in fear, and I can do the same thing. What are your thoughts on that, Krisilyn?
Well, I've always liked moving. I can't even tell you now how many times I've moved in different places that I've moved. So when the kids were little, I homeschooled and drug them around with me.
Love it.
When I quit homeschooling and the littler ones, when I got divorced, I had to put them out in school. That's been years and years ago. But um, I always said they had something to write about on what did you do for your summer vacation, because I moved them to the Colorado mountains, worked in a little church camp, and we lived in a tent with no running water for a summer. Um,
That's just invigorating.
it's just, we moved them to Florida, lived in a tent till a hurricane came, and that kind of messed that up. So
Kind of.
we had to go. My parents, bless their hearts, I'm the oldest of five, and I have five, and we'd come pulling in the driveway, and they're like, okay, let's get out the beds, spreads and stuff, get everybody ready. And we'd stay there till I found another adventure to go on. But,
That.
fear, I don't have fear. If you have fear, then maybe it's not right for you, because if you pray about it and you really seek, then you'll find, and there won't be any fear in it. I've gone places that I wanted to go and it didn't work out because I
Mhm.
really didn't have the lead of my spirit telling me to go there. I just went because I wanted to. Um, but when I know that it's from the Lord, there's no fear, and don't be afraid. If you're afraid too, also look at that, because fear isn't from the Lord. It's not from the Spirit.
Yeah.
Um, so that's something you might want to work with somebody like you to help overcome fear. And even with Reiki, that energy of joy, let's push out the fear and reinvigorate you with joy, and that joy can be adventure. um
I
I
like that.
It's fear, you kind of caught me off guard with that question, because I've had people say, aren't you scared? I'm going to take a 22-year-old car by myself and drive across the country by myself. They're like, aren't you afraid? And I'm like, nope. I feel very called to do this. I'm sure we'll make it. And if not, I have AAA on.
Right.
But here's the thing, I'm not going with hardly any money. So it will just be, I know how to do headlights for a living. So if I have to stop and refurbish some headlights, I'll do it. Just go and enjoy. this is what life is about. I'm not sure what the other side is. I think it's going to be great too. Or if you're, or you'll come back. I'm not even sure on that. I have a sister, just a quick, cute story, who has stage 4 colon cancer. And we've been doing Reiki and prayers and everything else. And um, she came back from chemo the other day and stopped right down the street from the hospital to get a hamburger. And it was a 2-lane hamburger joint, and a truck pulled in front of her that really wasn't supposed to, and she honked the horn. Well, this woman got out of her car and started cussing my sister. And my sister rolled up her window, and the woman got back in her car, and then she rolled it back down, and she cussed back. And the woman jumped back out of her car. She got so mad she licked my sister's window. And anyway,
She licked the window.
She licked the window. She was telling me
this
all
is a
this.
Diagnosis.
She said, I said, well, honey, I said, I've been reading all about Buddha and about reincarnation. I said, so here's one thing. If you die, you will come back because you ain't ready not to come back. And she said, well, thanks.
Keep trying because you haven't mastered this lifetime yet.
That's what I told her. I said, when
I
you
love
just
that.
have chemo and you roll down your window and you cuss somebody out, you coming back. So don't worry about dying.
Let's be grateful she didn't lick the window back.
I know. Yeah, that's true. And that's what she said. She said, it was so fun. I made her lick the window. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you coming back, honey. But, and that's fun. It is fun to have that joy. And
there's no judgment in that.
She's like, "Ooh, I hope I come back as a whale." I'm like, well,
right?
I just about did.
Swallow that one up, yeah.
But yeah, fear. There's no fear, even in. She had fear. Who wouldn't when you get that diagnosis? But then you get to that acceptance. You get to that. I'm fighting. I'm going to do everything I know to do. They call me Keke. I'm going to let Keke come and do her woo-woo on me. Because that's what they call it.
Your first book, Keke's Woo-Woo.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, it's all about creating new stuff for yourself, creating a new life, a new purpose, a new place. That's what retirement is. Retirement, like I said, like you said, if you want to sit, that's fine. But I still feel good. Even with MS, I use my Reiki on it. I use prayer. There, like I said, I have days, don't have a lot of pain. I have a funny limp. Don't know why, because nothing hurts. It just limps. So I just, that's my sexy walk now. It's my,
just a swaying.
Yeah. So I think that's what this time of our lives is about. We've spent so much time in the workforce or raising kids, which is great. I mean, I didn't homeschool my kids because of religious reasons. I homeschooled my kids because I wanted them with me. I didn't want to send them off to somebody else. I love my grandkids, but I still love my kids, and they're all grown. I adore them.
Yeah.
And that's fun, but I don't want to go live with them all right now or go babysit all the time. I've done that, So let's go. Let's do something else. So go do.
So I think what I get from you, Keke, is that ultimately to be tied down is really, even with people you love, is very difficult. You want to go and you want to be with them so that you take them with you or you go to them. But also there seems to be an innate belief that no matter what happens, you're taken care of.
That's right.
You know how to get yourself out of a pickle, or you know how to find somebody who can get you out, but ultimately you're protected. And that's a very solid feeling.
And that's, if you're afraid, then research. We have Google now.
Power, look it up. Information is power.
It is. And so look at where you want to go. Start out with just a retreat. if nothing else, do something different outside your normal box. And that
Even in
helps
the same
break.
city, even in the same
Yes,
neighborhood,
yes.
break out of your routine just a little bit.
I told my
Now,
children once when we were homeschooling, one of the things that we did was I taped off, a square of the yard. Just I don't know how to measure, but um and anyway, for 30 minutes I made them sit out there and watch that square and journal whatever they saw. And it was amazing the journals that they did. And my youngest one at the time couldn't stand it. Came running in and he said, "There's a worm. There's a worm trying to get to my square, but it hasn't gotten there yet. Can I write that it's coming, or do I have to wait till it's in my square?" And I
I
thought,
love that.
even for us grown-ups, do that. Take
Yes.
time. Imaginary square. Just find you something, and just spend some time meditating on that area. See what happens. See, when you watch life, when you watch nature, it all makes sense and you're not afraid anymore. It's like the creator has created everything for you. And
Mindfulness.
there's no fear. There's no fear in knowing, in your knower, that you're going to be okay. And
And
and what's
another
the
take
worst
for
that can
that,
happen if you're not? then we then we'll fly
another,
away to
because
something that
usually fear is, they say it's irrational, but that sounds like I'm gaslighting the person. I don't say that.
right.
But in
No.
other words, we fear snakes, but truly, unless the snake's right there, it's irrational. Um, but here's the thing. I find that seeing clients when they come in, because there is fear. They whether it's trauma induced or just
Right.
messages they received as children, there is a level of fear. And with some, we just work toward feeling the fear. We process it out and talk it out. This is not an instant thing, but feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yep.
And then if it is not a good decision for you, then you'll know that soon enough and you will course correct. But I'm one of those that, because of stuff that I've grown up in, like many, I will feel the fear. But I have a really long history of not letting it stop me because of the feeling that I'm protected. Also, I'll take care of it. And if I can't, I'll find somebody who can,
Right. And
you
that's
know?
true. And there are fears that, you know, I have a fear of heights. I I get dizzy if I get up. I it's real. The fear is real and it causes real things. Now I can go up in the mountains and stuff, but trying to go up in the Sears Tower, and I just had a pure panic attack. I couldn't do it
Panic
because I
attack.
don't like elevators either because they go up too high. And you know what? That one's okay. I haven't conquered it. I just don't need to go up in the Sears Tower. And if I do, then I'll pray it through. But
Yeah,
I'm not saying that fear is not okay. I'm just saying do other stuff first, just to see,
sure.
because there's a lot of
Baby
things you
steps.
can do that you'd be afraid of, and if you can't, give yourself grace. You know, I can't go up in the Sears Tower right now, and guess what? I am so fine with that.
It,
So I
it
can
does
preach
not
all day
inhibit
about
you.
not being afraid and still being afraid because I give myself grace. And so everybody needs to do that too. Give yourself grace, but don't let it be so irrational that it keeps you from enjoying life.
I
I can
think
enjoy
what,
life
what
without going up in the tower.
I think you and I are very similar in that if I need to get to the top of that tower and I
Yeah.
don't want to get in the elevator, I may just take the stairs. I
That's,
don't know. I'll figure out some way if I have
that's
to.
right. That's
But
right.
yeah. So, um, let me ask you this. What is this might be putting you on the spot, and it's okay if you can't think of anything, but I'm trying to think of, again, trying to hear this from the perspective of somebody who's sitting there going, I want to do this, whether that be moving, that's a big one, or if it's breaking out of my routine, if it's getting out there to meet people. for the shy person or the one who's afraid of rejection. Um, any suggestions to them on that level of how to break out and just do one thing differently?
Start small. Um, Speak to somebody at the grocery store. That's something, if you've never done that before, just you're going to run into somebody. You may run down the same aisle a couple of times. And, if it's nothing more than, I just passed you in the other aisle, or you just look lovely today. You can say, oh, I love your outfit. I wanted you to know I love your shirt. It doesn't have to be, it can be a compliment. It can just be, uh, ooh, I like what you have in your basket. I think I'm going to go get me some of those strawberries. Start
I like
small
that.
with doing just the little things, go to the laundromat and take
That's a big one.
donuts. Take donuts and brew a pot of coffee with and put it in a thermos with some cups and go to
Oh,
the
that's a
laundry,
good idea.
and just say, set it out on the table and set up, oh, coffee and donuts. Because the laundromat machines that you can buy Cokes and pretzels are way too expensive. You can't use those
If they
quarters for
work.
that. Yeah, if they work. Got to save my quarters for the washing machine. So bring
Yep.
donuts and just, you don't have to say a whole lot. Just
I love that.
welcome.
Well, and here's the thing. I have noticed now, keep in mind, I've got fresh eyes because I've only been back in the US about 18 months. But all this pick up your groceries, pick up your order in the vehicle, and um, we've systematically, I can't think of other examples, systematically worked people out of our lives.
We
Well,
have.
the problem with that, there's a lot of problems, but the problem with that is that we're social beings at the core. What can make depression come about, retirement and otherwise, is when you stop connecting, even in
Exactly.
small ways.
Yep.
So
I
go into the
agree.
grocery store and get your groceries,
Yep. Go to
or
go to a church or a synagogue or a Buddhist temple. Go to the park and take a walk and just say hi. There's I don't know how many people I've seen today walk by with their dogs, and if I weren't doing this, I would be, oh, I love your dog. You know,
yeah,
just little things. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot. Gas station. That's one thing you can't have delivered to you is gas. You have to go to the gas
thank
station. So,
goodness.
you know, just say hi. Just start out not being afraid of people because, like I said in the beginning, we all want to be noticed, and it
Even
doesn't
the small ways.
usually hurt to when you see somebody just barely touch their arm because we all want to be touched, that connected, and your energy, whether you believe in it or not, you have it. Your energy can work through that other person just by touching
But
their arm.
what if, I'm speaking out loud,
That's
what
right.
if they reject me? What if they try to, like, what if they start, I mean, like, repelled by me? What then?
In the South, we have a saying, "Well, bless your heart," and that's
Bless
just
your
kind of what
heart.
I bless your heart. I don't, I don't even have to say it out loud. I can just smile and go by and bless your heart. If I say it out loud or say it to myself, but
Yeah.
that's their problem. It's not mine, and that's
Blessings
when
to you. Yeah.
that gives me a person to pray for, to just to put on that list of, Lord, see these people, see them.
When you say that, what you're doing, probably without maybe without realizing it, is you're saying that's not personal. It's not about me.
Oh yeah.
You're in a
If
lot
you
of pain,
ever
is what you're saying.
if you ever make it about yourself, then you're doing the wrong thing anyway. Yeah, because
Well, I think
everything I've
that's what
talked about
keeps
is
us.
not about me. It's
I think
it's
that's what keeps us in our house
yeah, because
is we feel like it's what if they reject me? What if
right.
they, and you know, one of my connections to spirit, to God is singing. And boy, the first time I got up there on that stage, the fifth time, the 50th time, I was scared to death, but did it anyway. And now there's so much of a connection there. I literally feed off the crowd, but I don't even realize they're there. But part of that was battling those demons in my head of they don't like the job I'm doing. They are judging me. I'm acting like I'm all that. I'm making it about me. That was a big part of my battle that I had to overcome. It's true about a lot of things, I think, for people.
I think so too. I don't know if anybody's saying it because my kids say, "Oh, Mama, this is so you." It's a progressive insurance commercial, and the the people are talking in the restaurant. Oh, I wouldn't order that, and they're going, "Mama, that is so you," because I talk to everybody, and a lot of times
Yes.
they don't want to be talked to, but I notice, and so I stop. I don't keep on, and I know
Yeah.
it's not about me. So I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid of rejection because inside, the one that matters, you'll never be rejected from. And
Well, and you don't
I
realize how much you've lifted that person up, even if they reject, because they were
true.
anxious about how to respond to you. It's usually
Yeah,
about them, as you
it
know.
is. It is. So I don't let, I'm not going to say I don't let it bother me. I'm trying to think the last time I really felt rejected because I have, and my past is, it's a strange past, but, and so there
It
was a
sounds
lot
like
of
you don't let it
rejection.
in. Like I sense and I receive. I've got boundaries. I'm going to hear your boundary, but I offered the connection. What the person does and whether they receive it is up to them.
Right. That's true. That's exactly true. So that's where you start. If you're afraid, start small. You know, just like I said, grocery store is great. If you go to the laundromat, go to the laundromat. Join a social club. Something to get
Yeah.
out. The
Go to the
more you're
library.
out with other people, the less fear
Uh,
you'll have.
I have a pretty shy mom, believe it or not. And I'm like, and the one thing that she did that was really out of her zone, which has really paid dividends, is she goes to the senior center and plays cards once a week. And it's enough predictability and routine and people that she's learned to get to know. That was a huge decision. Or going to the library, where it's not too crowded, it's not too overwhelming. You don't have to talk to anybody until you're ready.
Yeah,
Those are baby steps for many. It's huge for them,
yeah,
but
yeah. I like that. Library is good. I,
it doesn't cost you
Library's a good
anything
place. Nope, nope.
except for your taxes. But Kiki, you've been a joy. You are
Well,
a
I
joy,
have
and thank
enjoyed
you.
this. I just hope that anything I've said can make a difference to
It
somebody.
does.
You know, that's
Keep spreading your joy. Keep washing feet. Keep seeing those who don't feel seen. I think that is your biggest mission on this earth, regardless of how you do it, you know. And I know that you are an encouragement to so many in your life, but today to a lot more of them. Um, you guys, if you want to reach out to Kiki, you can do that through here, through Texas Desert Rose, Facebook or YouTube. And do you want to share your email or just let them reach
yes.
out?
I'm on Facebook. Krisilyn Patton, and that's
Patton.
KrisilynPatton. And then my email is Keke, Keke 4140 at yahoo.com. So you can reach me that way.
Keke, Keke 4140 at yahoo.com.
Yeah, that's mine.
Wonderful. It's been a joy.
It
And
has.
would you consider when life gets a little bit calmer for you coming back and we can do some other topics?
I would love to. Let me get situated in Arizona and then I'll have a different background. You can see the cacti.
Oh, yes, the sequoias. I love it.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing to kind of hear about your journey there and Godspeed to you and
Thank you
blessings.
so much. All right. Y'all keep in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, and get the word out there. We've got some people who need encouragement. Blessings to you all.
Bye bye.